first time I'm having so many different like tech. So you see, we have it in here now, and I'm gonna be resharing this, and from my LinkedIn to my other LinkedIn. So, hey Lawrence, nice to see you. Give us a minute, and then the podcast and the interview with amazing Sara is going to start.
Hello.
Yes, hello guys. I know you're already here. In a few seconds, we're gonna be live, so stay tuned. We're just gonna make sure that we are screening everywhere in all of our social media. Only TikTok, I still have to make work. So TikTok we're not live on TikTok yet, but hopefully sooner or later that's going to happen. So let's see. Okay, is that working or not? I guess we will see this in a second. Good question. Where do you see it? I checked it through my company earlier and it actually worked. Well, okay. So I guess we're good to get started now. Hello, welcome everybody. Beautiful. Multitasking. That's why you probably have several people helping you on this. So I have my colleagues actually joining us in the background. Cheers to Winnie. Thanks for having you here. And I have Mark and Estrelita in the background. So maybe next time they gotta check the tech actually. Okay, everybody. It is time. German punctuality. Only 1 minute late. Okay, welcome to a new episode of Business Meets Life, and we are here live in Sydney, Australia. Let me introduce our amazing guest. Today we have Sara Green. She's a professional psychologist and relationship specialist based in Sydney, passionate about helping individuals build healthy, secure, and conscious relationships. Drawing on evidence-based approaches such as attachment theory, ACT, and emotional focus therapy, she supports clients in understanding emotional patterns and creating lasting change. Alongside her clinical work, Sara is a speaker, coach, and founder of Empower Relationships, with a mission to inspire and impact millions through education, healing, and meaningful connections. Woohoo! Okay, everybody, this is amazing, Sara. Let's welcome her. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, great. I feel great. I'm so excited. Thanks everyone for joining us. And thanks Janine for inviting me to this program.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your background. You're now based in Sydney for so many years already, but your story didn't start here. Take us a little bit back in history. Where did you grow up? What shaped your early life and family environment? And what led you to move abroad and build your life and your career here?
Sure, yeah. I come from Iran, and so I grew up in a family who they have been so loving and caring, and I come from a collectivistic culture, which value family connection so much. But my parents have been in a long relationship, marriage for over 30 years. But similar to every long relationships, they had some relationship challenges. And as a child, I was sometimes witnessing their arguments, and I was thinking, I was the first child, and I was thinking, how can I help them? And can I just, and it was sometimes I felt kind of powerless to do that, but I was always, that was, the first thing that triggered my curiosity, that, people looks like they are in love, but still they might have communication, issues or different things happening. So how can I help them? And then later I moved to Australia. I immigrated. I was in a long marriage myself, and then I had children. And then during that time, I also myself, after especially having children, faced some relationship challenges. And then I was thinking of how important it is to kind of learn the skills, and I can help my own relationship, and even learning psychology and how to raise children who are feeling secure and they are raised well. So that was the time that I kind of get attracted to psychology, and especially psychology of relationship.
Wow, thank you for sharing this. My parents actually got divorced when I was 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
So later on, I did notice these patterns as well that, oh yeah, how can I help the parents, especially when they argue as a child? You really like get to know a lot more of what's happening than we adults sometimes might really think, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Now, before becoming a relationship specialist, what was your professional path? I mean, I know you've already been a mother, and what inner or external shift led you to work now on what you're doing?
Yes, I come from IT background, software engineering, and I was working in corporate for years. And then I like my job, the analytical part of my job, but at the same time, when I get to middle age, I find out that's not completely my passion. It's not fulfilling me, because I was really interested to more connect with people in day-to-day basis, and helping them, so kind of that I find out I need to more follow something that I feel more fulfilled inside. So that was the reason I changed my career, and I came to psychology.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good thing that all these things happen, because it helped you find your purpose and really your mission, right?
Yeah.
Now, you speak about transformation and healing. What was that defining moment in your own life? Like, was there a specific trigger? Do you have this one specific memory still where you realized I can't continue relating to myself or others this way?
Yeah, I think after my separation from my ex-husband 3 years ago, it was so tough for me, knowing a lot of things in psychology, but still I couldn't save my own marriage. So I felt kind of what's going wrong there? Why I couldn't do that? And I thought maybe we grow apart. That wasn't maybe right person for me anymore, and I need to find right person. And after 6 months, I met someone that I really I just kind of feeling that I'm in love and I have found my person, and I was so excited, and things went so fast, and kind of we could even engage in a few months. And then
Wow.
what's happened again after 6-7 months, the patterns come to the picture, and like things started not working. And no matter how much I was just trying to use my knowledge and everything, I couldn't again save that relationship. Then after that, I thought, rather than trying, do I want to really keep repeating that and go from one person to the other, trying to find the right person? Or should I become the right person? And how can I look at myself and reflect on my own patterns and what's going on inside me? Like, do I have, for example, what are my attachment styles, my patterns in like my childhood? What's happening in my relationship which is not working, and what is my responsibility and part in the relationship? And I try to become the right person rather than just trying to find the right person.
I love that, and I feel like they've never taught us this actually in school. Winnie, do you mind turning on the light? Maybe it's a bit dark in the background on top. Cheers to Shanghai. I love seeing one of my friends in here. I know we've had a lot of conversations actually about relationships and so on. And also greetings to Germany. Hi, Johannes. You see, we're super international. We're in Australia right now. Going back to this, it was only about a year ago. I was in Bali after breaking up with my boyfriend back then, and I was in a bookstore in Bali, and I saw Matthew Hussey and Love Life. That book really started to give me these kind of like this experience and like really working more about myself, like not just like that there's different stages about attraction and so on, right? And I started to follow a couple of people on YouTube only now for the last 2 years. And I think like we're many of us who are also joining here, right? We are into self-development, but I feel like we do it for our leadership, for our soft skills, for our work, but we nearly have not really learned anything about these kind of relationships, right? So talk a little bit more about like your mission. You said that your mission is to impact millions through healthier relationships. What's this deeper personal driver behind that mission? And what are you really trying to change in the world?
Yeah, I think the quality of the relationship, I believe, define the quality of our life. And if we can master our relationship, we can master our life. It's not just a romantic relationship; it's also in in work, business, with friends, family, everyone. So that's for me is my main focus. And I thought that these days people struggle in relationship a lot, especially with social media and everything going on. So it's more like, and the roles are changing. So it's people are more confused than ever in the relationships. So then I find, okay, so that would be a really good place to start. And if I can impact, families, and if it is couples or like singles, I can help with the relationships. Then I can, help families, help children, like even generations. So then that's really what is, motivating me to just follow this.
And actually, Sara is organizing a lot of really cool events in Sydney nowadays, like single events, not only for the Persian community, but for everyone, which is really cool. I'm still gonna come to one of yours. Actually, you know what? As like for fun, I've had this in my mind for so many years, but in China, I didn't really see it. I've always wanted to come to a speed dating event just for fun, not with the intention on, hey, I'm gonna find my dream partner, which you never know, right? But keep me posted about your next events.
I've seen many demand these days because just people usually connect through social medias, and it's just so many challenges of dating app and everything. So they come in person to me and they ask, do you know someone, or how can we meet people in person? I think that's the reason I felt, oh really, that's the part that we can help people as well.
Yes, I love it. So you work with so many people striving for love and fulfillment. What does success actually mean to you today? Beyond your career, beyond your children, beyond of like any other external achievements? Because when I interview people here or in general, I mean, everyone in here who I interview is very successful, right? And very often, especially like because I lived in China for 8.5 years, people think success means money. What's your definition nowadays?
I think success for me means peaceful and organized kind of mind. And if we feel grounded and we can feel fulfilled inside, that is success. Because we see many people who tie the success to their achievements. And as we achieve something, then there is something more and more. But the success comes more from we find out what are our values. For example, if it's health, if it is family or career, anything, find those 5 and 10 values, and we try to live life with those values. So we try to be authentic and align with our values, and at the same time kind of be in the moment, present moment, and enjoy life rather than waiting always for a future and just another achievement or achievement. So tying success more inside us rather than external validation and external achievements, that can really help.
And I think this is such a great reminder in terms of core values. Whether we choose a job, do my values actually resonate with the company, with my future employer, manager, as well as it's a really good dating question for kind of like in the beginning. You don't want to wait too long to find out what are his or her values versus mine. And
Exactly.
so we live in a time with endless options, especially like some of us here. We basically, hey Rod, nice to see you. We basically live in big cities like Sydney. I've lived in Munich before. I lived close to Los Angeles and Helsinki, Shanghai. We have so many options, so many outstanding people, not just in private life, but also job and career, right? And we live in these endless options and more awareness than ever, right? Every one of us has a mentor, a coach nowadays. Why do so many people still struggle with relationships at a fundamental level? What are we missing? And I'm probably one of these people, and a few of these guys who are joining us live right now, I know for you guys as well. No judgment here.
Yeah, you're right. First of all, people, because they have endless options, that makes, choosing difficult. So, and also they are less patient to kind of put the real efforts. And when they see something not perfect or not completely, right fit, so they say next. So stop, and like you have said,
Yeah,
like
like
a
go to
dating
that.
app, and like next, and so because of that, they can't kind of settle with something. And that is one problem. And the other things is there are a lot of information and awareness, but they don't bring that awareness deep down and like do kind of bring on themselves. And when we do choices in relationship, it's more unconscious, and it comes from our nervous system, how we regulate ourselves, how these patterns are shaped in our childhood, and what looks familiar to us. So it's more unconscious, and changing these unconscious beliefs is not easy. It's not just by kind of having knowledge, but we should bring those knowledge to ourselves and see how we can change the behavior. That's not easy.
Yeah. So you just mentioned for me keyword deeper, right? How do I get this in deeper? What do I need to do?
Yeah, I think the main things is like to go deeper is knowing your kind of attachment style, how we relate to others. When something happens in a relationship, can we kind of communicate our needs, like in an open way? Can we, or we shut down, or we withdraw when conflict happens? What we do in that, and find those patterns, and also how the early childhood with our close people have been. Like for example, if we experience parents who have been emotionally unavailable or
Yeah.
inconsistent in the relationship with us, so that might look familiar to us. So we unconsciously get attracted to something that is familiar, and it's an unfinished business. But what we need is a kind of peaceful and aligned relationship, and that needs a calm and grounded nervous system that when doesn't mix anxiety, doesn't link anxiety and chemistry with the attraction. But when a peaceful, aligned relationship comes, that becomes familiar to us. So it comes from like emotional regulation. So learning those skills.
Is that the reason why a lot of people always choose the same type of partner? Because something kind of feels familiar, even if it is actually toxic for us?
Yeah, exactly. So because 90% of thing we do in psychology, we know that comes from unconscious choice, and as I said, like it might be like we think it's familiar, and when it's not familiar to us, even if it is peaceful or good relationship, it might look boring for us. So if it in the past we are used to hot and cold parents or inconsistent parents, then when someone comes who consistently following up with us, we think, oh, this person doesn't have a value, they are too much giving, because we don't have the capacity to receive that much love. Receiving love needs building a capacity for that.
Interesting. How do I build a capacity for this to receive love? I mean, I'm a really big giver, right? I've had this as a few learnings before that I have to learn to receive love. How do I do that? How do I extend?
It's interesting question. So I think it needs to kind of healthier choices doing. First, bringing awareness that if you are like overgiving or someone who learned, to stretch themselves to please others or overgive, start, by little doing actions which you don't do that much and try to receive and be open to receive and more choose the relationships which is reciprocal. So that's very important. It starts from bringing awareness to the patterns and then take actions to change those patterns.
Yeah. So I've noticed that the attachment theory is a really big topic. So 1.5 years ago, in my last relationship, I noticed that because I had a little bit of awareness about attachment styles. Oh, my partner and I, we are completely different attachment styles. So I suggested, hey, why don't we take a relationship coach? And I don't know, we have 1 or 2 sessions that this person who can actually help us overcome that. We never ended up doing this later on because I think there were a couple of other fundamental differences in us. But yeah, how can I become better or bridge when my partner and I have these different attachment styles?
Usually in relationship, the attraction comes from polarities.
Mm-mm.
So different attachment style, they match together. For example, it's so common that anxious partner goes with avoidant partner because an avoidant partner really get attracted by someone who is warm, approaching at the beginning, following up. And the person with anxious attachment, they like people who are more independent, who are more self-centered, because that is something missing in us. We usually get attracted to something that we haven't fully developed in ourselves. So when these polarities come together, anxious start following and the avoidant push back. So it's just, this push and pull that happens. So when they come to the relationship at the beginning is a strong attraction.
Yeah.
But by passing time, then the dynamic become unhealthy. One person withdraw. The more you chase an avoidant person, the more they withdraw. So, and that doesn't work. So until they bring an awareness and they do, self-work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point again. I mean, that's why we really need more experts like you. So I was also wondering, in terms of a relationship, when is the right time to actually hire a relationship specialist like you? I remember I had this conversation with my parents, and then when I was considering to hire an expert because of the difference in attachment styles, and then I think it was my dad saying oh, you're so early together, just a few months in, and you already need to see a therapist. He was kind of laughing about me, and then I was talking to a psychologist, a French-German psychologist in Shanghai, and he's no, doing it earlier is good. When is the right time to have a specialist like you?
I think it's just even when you're single, I think you don't need to go to the relationships. Many singles come to me and I say, the healthy relationship is start the relationship we have with ourselves.
Right.
So even, feeling more secure inside ourselves. And as I said, emotional regulation, doing that job, grounding techniques, either it can be affirmation, it can be meditation, or any kind of psychological techniques like mindfulness, ACT, or anything that kind of you become more grounded in yourself and be more aware of your emotions and can give that self-love first to yourself and look after yourself well. So first we should become a good partner for ourselves and choose self-love. And then if we can really feel okay, so that is everything start from us. And if we are in a relationship, rather than trying to change the person in front of us or even want to drag them to the therapy or anything, we can start from learning the patterns ourselves
Yeah.
and try to change that. Relationship is like a boat. If one person change the place, the balance changes, and the other person has to change the place as well. So
I see.
everything is start from us.
Let me quickly check. It seems like the sound is off here. Thanks for the comment, Johannes. Danke dir. Oh, I have a good question here. What for you is a healthy relationship? Sound is off. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. No, actually, it seems like the sound is on. So yeah, we had a question. What for you is a healthy relationship? I don't know. Did we answer that in the beginning? That is a great question.
What is for you as a healthy relationship?
Yes.
So you mean what healthy relationship looks like to me?
Yeah.
I think healthy relationship is a relationship that both person can feel that they can be themselves. They can be imperfect, but then they will be accepted. So bring kind of knowing that you don't need to be the perfect. You are not perfect. The other person is not perfect.
Yeah.
But you both come together and you try to grow and learn from each other. And also, I'll always put the relationship first and work as a team to, make that relationship works. And the parts of your partners that you like, it's good always, but the parts that you don't like, you see how through communication, or acceptance, bring that into relationship, and also try to be kind of good in repairing the relationship, because relationship is rupture repair. So learning those skills to repair a relationship is really good. So but more about if it is about self-love or romantic love, the most important things is accepting the parts of ourselves or our partners which everyone is afraid or fear or want to hide it. So how we can bring kind of acceptance and also show flexibility and work together to kind of get the best out of that person.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Hey, John. Hey, Mark. Thanks for joining. You just mentioned an interesting point, and this gets me to my next question. Why do healthy, stable relationships sometimes feel boring to people who are so used to these emotional ups and downs? Like, what's happening psychologically in those moments?
Yeah, these people, because of the experience they had in the past, they have been in an unstable relationship or the wounds they have and everything, they are used to kind of their nervous system always be in fight and flight mode and their anxiety mode. So if they come to a calm and grounded relationship, which is like their nervous system don't arise to that level, then they feel, oh, this is boring, or the spark is not there, or it's not that much attractive, because it's not something that they are used to that.
Yeah. Thanks for saying this again. Do people truly understand what healthy love looks like? I mean, you just explained it again. Or do you think we're actually just confusing it with intensity, maybe chemistry, emotional highs?
Yeah, exactly. So they usually think like romantic love is more about like chemistry and attraction and something that is as you said is intense. Also they think that healthy love, they think it's easy. So most people when I look at, they say, oh, if it's healthy love, it would be easy. But we all know that relationship has stages. It has a first stage, which is, we all know, it's a honeymoon and just both people trying to show the best part of themselves. But as it goes to second stage, after 6 months or a year, so then they can see parts of other people which is not perfect. And then mostly their mind goes to those weaknesses in a relationship. So that's the second stage of the relationship. So then that's the time that the skills come to the picture, the patience comes to the picture, the emotional baggage, everything we have comes to the picture. So it might not be easy on that stage, and they need, some work or getting help sometimes, maybe working on yourself, communicating your needs. And that's the time that become usually challenging for people. When most people think if it is meant to be, or if it is a real healthy relationship, there are not many challenges there. But usually in second stage we experience that, and when people pass that stage, if they pass it in a healthy way and they try to work as a team, then in the third and fourth stage they can really experience something that is aligned with each other, and more kind of committed and consistent love and healthy love.
Love it. Okay, so here's a provocative question for you, Sara. And for everyone who is live, if you guys have any specific questions for Sara, shoot me a message. I'll try to ask her towards the end. Now, can a relationship ever be truly healthy if one person hasn't done their inner work? I remember my friend Tom and I, we were just like discussing that recently several times.
Yeah, we see a lot in a relationship. One person is obsessed with doing the work, and then one person usually escaping that. So I think that's happening a lot. I think some relationship can survive without the work. Some people are naturally, they might have secure attachment, they are grounded, they are, matched, fully matched, or like, things really work. But in most relationship, if one person especially start working and growing, and if the other person show resistance, then that can create imbalance. So it would be much better if both kind of do some contribution. But I always say, even if one person start working and bring changes, that can change the relationship as well. So don't think that it's always like, your partner should, do some work. It's very good if they do, or they are open to that. But if you do the work on yourself and they see the change, that can change the relationship.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning this. I mean, I am a coach trainer myself. I've done a lot of like mental fitness, those kind of like positive intelligence kind of work. And most of the times I would work with managers, for example, the big four consultancies. And we did work on our inner saboteurs. And of course, this was more like in a work related environment. But because they did the inner work, they actually also then had some positive outcomes happening in their personal relationships with the children, with the partner, and so on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So for someone recognizing the unhealthy patterns, what is the first non-obvious step they need to take to actually break that cycle?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think, as I said, when we find out an unhealthy pattern, we need to find kind of this cycles of that happening. And like we can review, the past relationship or everything, our conflicts, and see what's happening over and over. For example, they have found that couples, the things that they argue about, they never change. Like it's just 70% remain in whole their relationship. So what is actually important is how we navigate these conflicts. So it's so important that we know that in any relationships there are differences, there are challenges, but how we can work, do the work on ourselves, that we navigate this in a healthy way. So that's the main thing, I think. And also find out what is our contribution to that, what is our responsibility or role, rather than trying to find, be a victim and just trying to change our partners.
Absolutely. So you've mentioned self-love many times now, right? So how can someone tell if they truly embody self-worth versus just intellectually understanding it?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question as well. Like, Self-love, as I said, is just it's very important in self-love. We try to be kind with ourselves when we make mistakes, and look at that as a learning things. And we have, all of us have a parent inside, criticizing ourselves, trying to kind of push ourselves to do more everything. But it's very important that parents be healthy, and like, how we treat ourselves is very important. And that's usually the way that people also treat us. And so when it comes to self-us, it's also linked to self-respect.
Yeah.
And like in actions, how we set boundaries with others in a healthy way, how much we tolerate, bad behaviors or something that is not aligned with us, or we think we don't deserve it. It might be like we might have like dependency or things, that we tolerate things that is not really acceptable. So the self-love comes from not just the gesture of going, taking ourselves to massage or coffee. Every one of
Yes.
us know about this, which is really good. But it's also more about kind of how we talk to ourselves, and also how we kind of in action show people that we should be respected, and we deserve something that really a person who love themselves deserve, if that makes
Yes,
sense.
absolutely. And you've just given me a couple of really good topics again on, even for myself, what to dig deeper, what to work on. Yeah, nobody is perfect, right? So I have a lot of like Indian friends, I have Persian friends, and I remember growing up in Germany and having learned English. I remember we had these topics when we spoke about Indian culture, and we learned that there's arranged marriages, or even in African countries. And I remember being a Western person, we were so, hi George, nice to see you. We were so judgmental about it. We thought, oh, these poor people, they go into these arranged marriages. And I have so many like Indian friends where then I later found out, oh, they do like, they use like their local things, which is similar to astrology, numerology, and whatever they use locally to kind of figure out if these two people would actually match together. And I started to learn a lot more that these are like purpose marriages. And because they have this purpose, it also makes the relationship much stronger. Nowadays, I follow a lot like Alex Hormozy and his wife Layla Hormozy. They also talk a lot about these and different kind of like patterns they do to keep this relationship well, like weekly date nights, or like Dan Martell. He was like sharing, I think, 3 questions that him and his wife would always like ask themselves critically to also like help their relationship evolve. What would be some of your tips for us now if we are in a committed relationship to make sure that this can stay a long-term healthy relationships? What are some, yeah, tips or routines that we should take?
Yeah, so I think for you went for a committed relationship also. I think my advice would be kind of in a committed relationship, it's very important to kind of know the value of relationship in today's world. It's not easy to kind of find someone that wants to do the job and wants to live with us. And so the most important thing is we don't take each other for granted. And when something we have a relationship, we don't we try to learn the communication skills, and bring self-reflection, and kind of see how we are contributing, if there are arguments, if there are differences as we grow. And then in the relationship, then we feel happy as well. And we shouldn't be result oriented much. The most important thing in any relationship, either for singles or the people who are in the relationships, is learning from the mistakes and growing. At the end of the day, who we become in a relationship is important. So if, for example, we get heartbroken, or at the end of the day we went through the breakup or separation or divorce, it's very important we see that rejection or things as a good step to grow. And like we all know about like post, like PTSD, which is also we have PTG, which is after something is post traumatic growth. So after something happens which is really painful for us in life, we can grow so fast. So we look at that as an opportunity to grow. So we don't just become so result oriented. The important things, we enjoy the journey, we try to do the work, and learn and look at as an opportunity to become a better person.
That's a good reminder. Enjoy the journey and not just like hoping to get this, to achieve that goal. Yesterday, I was just talking to a friend about this, and he was like, it's not about like once I have the six pack, it is the journey towards getting to that six pack, right? There is no sound. Oh, shoot. Thank you for telling me. I don't know how to fix that right now. Why there's no more sound. Let me just quickly try to see. The sound's on. I don't know. Is it working now? Thank you so much for telling me. I think I got a call on 1111. Make a wish. I got a call on the phone earlier. Maybe that's why the sound somehow interrupted. But here it's definitely working. So we're slowly coming to an end here. Let's make this a little bit more personal, Sara. I mean, I love following you on social media, and guys, please subscribe to Sara Green's channels. We're going to put all of her social media channels also in the comments later on, as well as to Business Meets Live or Janine Jacob on YouTube or Spotify, my podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, it seems like I'm muted. Okay, it must have been this other phone call. That's a learning for later on. Yeah, so let's make this more personal. Have you ever stayed in something longer than you knew you should have, even with all of this knowledge? And what did that teach you about yourself?
Yes, I think it happens for all of us.
Yes.
So we are humans. So it's just, as I said, we make so many unconscious choices. So it has been like in a relationship that I thought, this is not like, aligned with my values, or like, looks like maybe I'm taken for granted or anything like that. But it's still, I was kind of attached into that. And they say it takes, time to kind of emotionally you can disconnect from a person who you have been close. So it's not easy one day job to do that. So it can come from, I find out I had, for example, some dependency issues. Or I was always trying to save, relationships, or become a savior or save people, which I had this pattern. But then bringing awareness to that patterns that helped me to just become more balanced and try to stay in a relationship which is more reciprocal. And if it's inconsistent and not aligned with my values, now I can, kind of get a space from that. But it has been a learning journey. It's not easy to do that because it's quite unconscious.
Yeah. So final questions now. If someone listening right now could make this one internal shift today that would transform their love life, what would that shift be?
I think for singles, I say that try to open your heart and be curious. I know you all comes from the many people comes from history of heart, break, or come from, and you have wounds, and you sometimes we build some walls. So it's very important to look at the relationship, as I said, as a learning and opportunity, and as a growth opportunity, and even be open to meet people. Sometimes it might come as a romantic relationship, sometimes it might be like a business, or like it can over something else happens, always good. So try to open your heart, in spite of things happens in the past, and if you have fears, try to work with someone on those fears. So that is for single. I think for couples, what I can give as an advice would be kind of bring more appreciation and acceptance in the relationship. So rather than pointing finger to your partner, looking at yourself, how you can bring more be healthier, behave more healthier in a relationship, and bring the change with changing your own behavior, and do some self-reflection. We have seen this a lot, that many people say, oh, my ex or my partner is narcissist. So that is like happening a lot these days, but I think that doesn't really help, trying to labeling others, or just, kind of see what's wrong with other people. The important things is how we can become healthier and grow in this relationship, no matter the result would be we stay together or we live together, but we become a better person.
I love it. Beautifully said. Which actually reminds me, you know what? I forgot something earlier. I wanted to, hey James, nice to see you. Greetings to China. So I actually wanted to share you guys some of share screen, a little bit of background also about Sara. I didn't do this earlier. I prepared a couple of really nice of your branding pictures. So let me see where it is now. Here it is. And, nope. Let's take, add to stage. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm still learning how to do this in the best possible way in here. Okay, guys, so here we are as we're slowly closing it down. So yeah, this was the psychology of love with the Marrying Sara Green. And here are just a couple of her pictures. She's super international. She has coaches, mentors from all around the world who are the best in what they're doing. She's constantly investing in herself, which is really great. She's also as you know, she has the background in software and engineering. But yeah, she's learning a lot about AI and marketing. And this was, what's his name? Bruce Buffer, right?
Yes, that's right.
Mark Boris.
Yeah.
Shana. I had her actually on my podcast as well.
Yeah.
No, what's her name? Shana.
Shiley.
Yes.
I think Shiley, yeah.
Yeah. JT Fox in Sydney. Oh, this is us.
Yes.
Exactly. Beautiful, nice memories. Eric Simmons, a genius and billionaire, right?
And this is the founder of the TikTok. I mean, in Australia.
In Australia, yeah.
So he is
awesome. School with the school, and also his sister. Yeah. Actually, it is just about 2 years ago that I met your sister and her husband James in the Gold Coast at a conference by JT Fox. It's 2 years and 3 days ago. Otherwise, you and I would not have met in the AI marketing or the AIpreneurs community. This one looks beautiful. What was that?
It's Persian Film Festival. I really like art culture, and so whenever it's a cultural events, I try to attend. And so yeah, and she's a writer there. So and the guy he is just directing all of this is quite Amir Palangi. So he is so famous for kind of running this film festivals. And yeah, so
Oh, that's nice. Here it's you giving a speech, basically.
in the panel, yeah, and it was for women, like how we can help women, empower women after they go to domestic violence and things like that. So
Yeah, Australia is very active on that, I have noticed. So I'm not sure. I hope that the guys here in the live streaming actually saw that. Yes, I think they did. So yeah, we're coming slowly to an end. Thank you so much for making time. And actually, you know what? First of all, I got to do this new feature I'm trying out. Wait. Thank you for making time, Sarah, for coming over here. So I'm part of this like business club, and guys who have ever known me, you know, I'm like this global bridge. With whoever you want to do business with. Here in Sydney, I'm part of this business club 33. I'm connecting people. As you can see, I meet some of the most amazing people in all different parts of industries with different culture backgrounds, different languages they speak. Not only amazing coaches and therapists and relationship experts like Sara, so feel free to reach out to me. And if you love today's session, sharing is caring. Send it now to your friends. Soon it's going to be live on Spotify as well. Subscribe every single day. We're now going to be going live at the same time and place, 10:30 a.m. Sydney time, so that you can meet more amazing people like Sara. Reach out to her and invest in yourself, invest in your relationship, as we have just heard. So yeah, any last words from your side to our global audience?
thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and thank you very much, Janine. It was great. So thank you for inviting me. Really appreciate that.
And I'm going to say this publicly to everyone. I'm definitely going to join one of her upcoming events, whether it's about Persian culture, art, or maybe one of your single events. Why not? I have nothing to lose. And I love how you also said, you never know, like you might have your next best friend from there, a business partner, or just a good evening. Fun fact, my first Chinese friends in Suzhou in China, when I had just moved there, they actually, I remember Steven, as Chinese Steven, he went on 50 blind dates, most of the times in the same cafe. And I think then it was not a blind date. He went to the English corner in Suzhou, where he suddenly met his wife.
Oh,
Finally,
wow.
you never know,
Right.
right? Do you have any good stories like that before we're closing it?
No, but I've seen that become really trend these days. I saw like even in Canada, they are just putting events during the day rather than late night with like alcohol. Some healthy events that people go over coffee and meet each other during the day. So and then people these days, especially new generations, they really want more kind of healthier ways to connect and even like in person. Yeah, there were like those kind of events become so popular and trendy these days.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for your time. We are running over. All the best to you guys. See you tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to have amazing Ronnie with us. Ronnie D is a nightclub owner in the best hip hop club here in Sydney. So all of the big hip hop stars go to his place. But he also recently started an accessory like sunglasses or accessory brand in Sydney. So he's a serial entrepreneur. Don't miss out and see you tomorrow. Have a great day, Sara.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'm going to end this stream now.